Okay, day in the life 2022 was a little different for me. It was a Thursday, and it's going to be in the apartment that I was at. I was in an apartment for 2022 in the fall. My father was passing away, and he would actually had passed away at that point, and I was over there. So it's going to be a little bit different of a story. So you'll see that story. And so I used Ali Edwards digital, and you'll see the plastic pieces here. And here's the little blanket on my bed, and you'll see it here, and you'll remember the story and the big blanket and the giant cuddles and the story of that. And you're going to see how I told the story about my shower and these amazing little shower things that my friend sent me, and how they were such a comforting thing. And I told the story about the bathroom things that I had on the wall, and the lamps that I had on my bedroom table, the ability to be able to clean and keep up with everything, and how I kept it all in its place. I told the story about making the pumpkin, and how my mom was obsessed with pumpkin and how I was doing it. You have to realize that this day was the day that we were going to the funeral home to get Dad all in place, because the next day was his funeral. So it was just a very emotional day. So I was just kind of getting it all in place, and it was just, you know, it was a very emotional day. This was the story of doing my laundry on that day, and I had went to McDonald's and I grabbed a sandwich. I really wasn't in the mood to eat much, but I still did. And I got an Egg McMuffin. Excuse me, I'm kind of emotional, just, you know, going back through that day. But it's nice to even document the hard days. And, you know, you might not do those, but I find it important to document every day. The good days, the bad days, because there's still a story to tell. So I put a tag in here, and I even documented my Egg McMuffin wrapper. And, you know, I put the bag on the other side. And on the other side, you'll see that I had stopped to get gas. And I used some Ali Edwards rubber pieces. And I put gas prices are all over the place. And there's a picture of me pumping gas. And I talked about the gas prices. Took pictures of the trees in Ada and talked about my hometown. My daughter was crawling through her cat gates, and she had one up and one down because the contractors were in her house at that day, and she didn't want her cats to jump over the gate. So I told that story, and her house was majorly under construction that day. So I took a picture of it and did that. And this was us sitting in my mom's living room. We were all just talking about stories about my dad. And then this was me driving over. I just took some pictures. And I talked about, you know, stuff about my dad and the day. And, you know, just about things happening. And the things I was grateful for. And we went trick-or-treating that night. It was trick-or-treat that day. So Harper was trick-or-treating. And this was my daughter and Harper and her best friend ran into each other, and they were so excited. And just some more things that happened that day. So, you know, it's just the little things. You know, you might not think a day in the life is that important, but, you know, that day in the life was the day before my dad's funeral. So it was a huge day. So document the little things.